Hello everyone, welcome to today's class. This is teacher Simon taking you through Cambridge IGCSE Core Mathematics paper 3-1 for October-November 2024. And this is part 1 for questions 1 to 5. Question 1 part A, write the number 6,030,000 in figures. So I write 6 million, I should have 6 zeros, then I add on 30, okay? You add on 30, so this one will give us 6 0 0 0 then comma 0 3 0. Part B, write 7.896 correct to 2 decimal places. Any number on the right of the decimal place is a decimal. On the right of the decimal point is a decimal place. So 8 9, I'll put 6 here, so I'm supposed to cut it off from here. Now you can add here a 1, so that one will give you a 10. Okay, then take the 1 here, then 9, then 7. So that means our answer is going to be 7.90. 7.90 is the same as 7.9. But if you write 7.9, this one is to 1 decimal place. Okay, so this one will be wrong. Also, if these other ones, you put zeros, even for the 6, you add on also the 0. So you say 900, because here we had 3 of them, then that means this one is going to be 3 decimal places. Okay, so it becomes wrong. This is not, and this is not. So our answer is 7.90. Part C, we are given a list of numbers, and they're saying from this list of numbers, write down a multiple of 16. A multiple of 16 is that number that can be divided by 16. Okay, and we can look at 48. It has to be 48, because if you get 48 divided by 16, you get 3. So 48 is a multiple of 16. So the answer here is 48. Then a factor of 24. A factor is that number that divides another number. Okay, so which of these numbers will divide 24? So we have 24 divided by 8. That one gives us 3. That means the answer here can be 8. By the way, I can also write 24. Okay, because 24 is, a number. Each number is a factor of itself, because 1 times that number, you get that number. Just like 1 is a factor of every number. Okay, then Roman 3, a cube number. A cube number is the one that has gotten a perfect cube root. So you get the cube root of the numbers, and then the one which gives you the exact figure without the decimal places is the one that you take. And from here, we can see that it is 8. If you take the cube root of 8, because 8 is the same as 2 power 3. Now, if I say the cube root is power third, that means I will say 3 times this third, and then you get the answer as 2 to the power of 1. So that means this one is 8. Then Roman 4, a prime number. A prime number is a number that can be divided by itself. In other words, it has 2 factors, 1 and itself. 8 can be divided by 2. This one can be divided by 2. This one can be divided by 5. 36 can be divided by 2. This one can be divided by 3. 48 can be divided by 16 or by 2. That means it is only 41. So our answer here is going to be 41. Then part D, put 1 pair of brackets into this calculation to make it correct. Now here we are using Bodimers. So since this one is 8 and I'm seeing 10 here, I must have something like 10 minus 2 to give me the 8. Okay, so what I'm going to have here, if I put, let's say, the brackets here, this one will be now 10 minus 12. Remember, when we use Bodimers, brackets come before anything else. So first deal with what is in brackets. So 4 plus 2, that one will give us 6. Now division comes before subtraction. Division here comes before subtraction. So I can have now 10 minus 12 divided by 6. You will get 2. Now 10 minus 2, this one gives you 8. So that means the pair of brackets has to be here. They said 1. It is even in bold. 1. Don't write again this one here or any other. It is just 1 pair. Part E, by writing each number in the calculation correct to one significant figure, find an estimate for the value of 596 times 0.047 out of the square root of 8.65. You must show your working. So now 596 is three significant figures. So to one significant figure, it will be only 5. So I will round off this one to here, and then I will add a 1. So this one will give me 6. But you cannot move from 500 something and then you go to 6. So these other ones, I'll put zeros. So that will be 600. And then 0.047. This one has two significant figures. They are not 4. 0 is not a significant figure unless it is in between other figures. Okay, so here the first significant figure is a 4, and then the next one is a 7. Okay, so that means I'll round the 7 to this 4 here by adding a 1. So this one will give me 0.05. You don't write 5, it is 0.05. And then 8.65. This one is three significant figures, so I'll round this one off to this, add 1, then this one will give me 9. That means what we are having here will be now 600, then times 0.05 out of, this one is square root of 9. Now, 600 times 0.05, getting our calculator here, 600 times 0.05, this one gives us 30. So we shall write 30, and the square root of 9 is a 3. So 30 out of 3, this one gives you 10. Part F, calculate 8 times 10 to the power of 6, then times 3 times 10 to the power of negative 2. Give your answer in standard form. This one can be the same as, so this one, you can write it as an ordinary number, then after you write it in standard form. So 8 times 3, we can get 24. Then using the rules of indices, a power b, then times a power c, I will have a power b plus c. So that is what I'm going to use here, and I will say 10, then power 6, then plus that negative 2, which will be power 4. Okay, it will be power 4. Now, what we are going to have here is now 24, then times 10 to the power of 4. This one can be 24, then 4 zeros, 2, 3, 4. Then I can, so the decimal is here. For any whole number, the decimal is always silent at the end. Then I move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. When we are writing significant figures, we have to write a times 10 to power n, where a lies within this region is greater or equal to 1 but less than 10. Okay, because we can have something like 9 point something, then times 10. So if I have a decimal here, on the left of that decimal, I must have one significant figure, and then the rest this other side. Okay, so this will be 2.4. We have moved the decimal 5 times, so we say times 10 to the power of 5. Okay, alternatively, I can use the ordinary number. So alternatively, you can use your calculator. So you get 8 times 10 to power 6, then times 3 times 10 to power negative 2. This one can just give you straight away 24,000. And then you do the same. Okay, you get that answer there. Then another one can actually use this one here. When they come to this, they can have 24 can be written as 2.4 times 10 to power 1. Then now times 10 to power 4. Then they are going to add the powers, and then it becomes 24 times 10 to the power of 4 plus 1, that is 5. You see? So even that one is there. Then part G, write 2160 as a product of its prime factors, but we are given 216 is equal to power 3 times 3 power 3. Now 2160 is just 216 times 10, but 216 is given as 2 power 3 times 3 power 3. Then 10 is the same as 2 times 5. All of them are power 1. Using the rules of indices, I will have 2 power 3, then I add a 1. Okay, then times 3 power 3, then times 5 power 1. So this one is going to give us 2 power 4. 2 power 4 times 3 power 3, then times 5 power 1. Question 2, part A. In the diagram, BCG is a triangle. ABCD and EF are parallel lines. So whenever they give you parallel lines, then you should know that I can have something like a Z here. Then we have this one here and this one. These ones are alternate angles. Okay, alternate angles. And then if I can extend this one here like that, and then this one here, this angle here is going to be equal to this theta here, okay? And those are corresponding angles. So now looking at what they have given us here, find the value of x, give a geometrical reason for your answer. When you look at x here, alternates with this one here. So I'll write 38 degrees, and then I say these angles are alternate. So I say alternate angles. Just that. And then others write alternative angles. No, the word is alternate, not alternative. Okay. Then Roman 2, find the value of y, give a geometrical reason for your answer. When you look at y, you see this one corresponds to that. So I'm going to use corresponding angles. So I'll say y is equal to 69 degrees. The reason here is going to be corresponding angles. Corresponding angles. You can even add on corresponding angles are equal. You see? Are equal. Even here, alternate angles, you can also say are equal if you want. But are equal, that is optional. Okay? And then Roman 3, find the value of z. So if you look at z here, already, now this angle here is going to be 38 because that is what we call opposite angles, okay? Opposite angles. Then, for us to get y, we have that exterior angle property of a triangle that when you get this, the two opposite angles, and you sum them up, the two interior opposite angles, and you sum them up, they give you the exterior angle, okay? Why is it like that? If I have something like this, and maybe this is A, this is B, this is C, let's say then this one is D. Now A and D are angles on a straight line, so A plus D is equal to 180 degrees, right? And then also angles A, B, and C, they also add up to 180 degrees because these are angles in the triangle. So these two equations, I can equate them because they are all equivalent to 180. So I'll have A plus B plus C is equivalent to A plus D. So do you see that I can cancel A from here and here? That means B plus C is equal to D. You see that? So this part here, this angle plus this one, when you add them, they give you the one that is outside here. So that's why I'm saying that 38 here plus the Z will give us the Y. All right, now we are going to have 38 degrees then plus Z, which is equivalent to Y. Okay, remember our Y is 69, that means Z is going to be equal to Y. Y is 69 degrees, then minus, now the 38. So 9 minus 8, you get a 1, and then 6 minus 3, you get 3. So this has to be 31 degrees, okay? Then also, alternatively, we can say, like I've told you up there, alternatively, another person can say, let me first find this other angle here. They say, let me find this other angle here. And maybe we can label it with is y, x, z, maybe with u. So they will say, I'm finding u. So u plus y is equal to 180 degrees. That means u is going to be 180, then minus the 69 for y. And this one will give us 111. Then Now they say this u 111, then plus the 38, then plus now the z, then will give us 180 because these are angles in a triangle. That means z is going to be 180 minus 38 minus 111. So when you put that in the calculator, you have 180 minus 38 minus 111. You get 31 still. You see that? 31. Next, part B. This one is coming from circle theorems. R, S, and T are points on a circle. Center O. Line X1 touches the circle at T. Write down the mathematical name for the line XY. For the line XY. XY, this one is a tangent. Okay. What is a tangent? A tangent, let me define it for you here. A tangent is a line that touches the curve, at only one point. So I'll put here the tangent. And then, so that is that. Then write down the mathematical name for the line SR. SR, since this one is not passing through the center of the circle, this one is called a chord. Okay, this is called a chord. Now, what is a chord? A chord, let me also define it for you. A chord is a line that joins or connects 2 points on the circumference of the circle, of a circle. Okay, without passing through the center of that circle. Okay, then the diameter, that is the line that joins 2 points on the circumference of the circle but passing through the center of that circle. And then we also have a radius, is that line that joins the center of the circle to any point on the circumference of a circle. Okay, then Roman 3, they're saying Toby thinks shape RST is a right angled triangle. Give a geometrical reason why Toby is incorrect. Now, when we look at this diagram here, they gave us the diagram and they said not to scale. That means you are not supposed to get your compass or your protractor and then you measure. Okay, so the angles that are put there are not measured. That is if they are there. Now, what do we need to know? For any right angled triangle, for circles, we can have a circle here, and then we have a diameter. Then we connect this to the circumference. Now, since this one is 180 degrees, then angle at the circumference is half angle at the center. So this will be the 90 degrees here. Because this one is a diameter, so that line must be passing through the center of the circle. Now, when you check this one here, this line ST here, okay, is not passing through the center O. You see that? So it's not a diameter. ST is not a diameter. If ST were a diameter, then this would be 90 degrees. So what then are we going to say here? We are going to say that ST isn't a diameter. ST isn't a diameter, okay? Because it is not passing through the center of the circle, isn't a diameter. Therefore, angle in the semicircle isn't 90. Therefore, angle SRT, if we can check here, SRT, the angle we are talking about is this one here, okay? Therefore, angle SRT is not the angle in the semicircle, isn't 90 degrees, or you can say isn't the angle in the semicircle. In the semicircle. But even if you say isn't 90 degrees, it's fine. Isn't the angle in the semicircle? So what we know is that angle in the semicircle is always a right angle. Okay? So in other words, the angle subtended by this diameter at the circumference of a circle is always 90 degrees. Next, question 3 is coming from statistics, I think. The bar chart shows the percentage of people in each age group who use a bicycle. And we are given the bar chart there. Write down the percentage of people aged 60 to 69 who use a bicycle. So 60 to 69. 60 to 69, we see it here. So the percentage is here. It is exactly in the middle of 40% and 20%. That means that one is going to be 30%. Okay, so this will be 30. As simple as that. Next, Roman 2, 980 people in a survey are in the 30 to 39 age group. Work out how many of these people use a bicycle. Now, those who use a bicycle, then the percentage is, they said 30 to 39. This is the one here. So look at the percentage here. Is 40. So I will say 40 out of 100, then times the 980. So this will cancel with that, then this with that. 4 times 98. 4 times 98. That one is 392. So the answer here is going to be 392. Then 2. Okay, and that is that. Then next, part B, Jack makes 18 cycling trips in 1 year. Each cycling trip lasts 23 minutes. And then it's a find the total time Jack spends cycling in this year. Give your answer in hours and minutes. So the total time here, total time is actually going to be the 18, then times 23. Okay, because each cycling trip is taking 23 minutes. So that means we can get 18 times 23, which is 404. So that means in total we have 404 minutes. Okay, then in hours we shall get 404 divided by 60, because an hour is equivalent to 60 minutes. So now these ones will be hours. So when we check this on the calculator, divide by 60, we shall get 6.9. So this one will give us 6.9 hours. So this is the same as saying 6 hours, then plus 0.9 hours. 0.9 hours, we can say 0.9 times 60. So they are minutes, it is not yet an hour. And then when you get the 0.9 times 60, this one gives us 0.9 times 60 gives us 54. So that means we shall have 6 hours and 54 minutes. Part C, the table shows where 240 people cycle the most. And we are told to complete the table as Roman 1. So how to get the sector angle? We shall get the number of people is 84. Then divide by the total, which is 240. Then times the angle sum in a circle is 360 degrees. So let's prove whether it gives us 126. So we shall have 84 out of 240, then times 360. You get 126. So this is correct. So it is the same way we are supposed to do this. 72 out of 240 times 360. The next one is going to be 48 out of 240 times 360 degrees. What do we get? Then the other one is going to be 36 out of 240, then times 360 degrees. Now, what we are going to have here is 72 out of 240, then times 360. This one will give us 108. So 108, that's the one I'm going to write here. Degrees, don't forget to add on degrees, because if you write an angle without the degrees, then that means it is in radians. So this is 48, and that will be 72 here. So I write 72, and then the other one is 36. So I just come here and I change 36, which is 54. So 54 degrees, that is the one there. All right. Then next, we are told now to complete the pie chart. What we can do here, when you get 108, then you add 72, you actually get 180. So what I'm going to do, I'll just get my protractor. You get your protractor, which is here. Then you can put it here. Make sure that it is at the center here. And then you have to coincide this line of the protractor on that one which is given there. Okay, which is given here. So it has to be there. Then I can look at where 72 is. So 72, now I'm going to use the outer one, okay, because it is the one that starts from here, 0, okay. So 72 is here, okay, is here. That means I'll get my ruler, put it here, then draw to the 72, okay. Then this other one will make 108, okay, 108. 72. So this other one will make 108. Let me even enlarge a little bit. Do you see that using this other scale from this other side? Okay, what do I mean? Like we are coming from this side here, this way, coming to this other side. So the 0 is here. Okay. Now, if you try to look very well, this is 108 here. Here. Let me zoom a little bit. You see that? It's 108. So you just need to add 2 angles, then you measure all of them at once and you don't disturb yourself. Okay. Then the other one which is remaining is automatically the one that you haven't measured, the 54. So that one I just leave it out, and then like that, then I connect to the center here. You see? So then I can label them. I can now take off my my protractor. So when I take this one off, you can now rub off this one up to there. Make sure that your line doesn't exceed the one of the circle. So here, this one is the remaining one, which is 54 degrees. This is 108 degrees. And here it is 72 degrees. And then you can label them. So for 54, it is other. Okay. Then 72 is for parks. And then 108 is for psychopaths. Psychopaths. Just like that. Okay. Then part D, a cycle costs $720. Sorry, a bicycle costs $720. Carlo pays 1/5 of the cost as a deposit. He pays the rest of the money in equal monthly payments of $16. Work out how many monthly payments Carlo makes. So I'll have the amount here. I'm going to generate an equation here. Amount is going to be equal to the deposit. Okay, the deposit. And then plus the total installments. Okay. The total monthly payments or installments. Okay, so now we have 720 is the total, and then the deposit is 1/5 of 720. Then plus we are going to have each monthly deposit or payment is $16. So 16 then times X. We don't know how many payments are done there. So 720 divided by 5, 720 divided by 5, this one gives us 144. So I'll bring 720 minus 144, which is equal to 16x. That means x is going to be equal to 720, then 720 minus 144. This one gives us 576. So I'll write 576. Then I divide by 16. So when you divide your answer here by 16, then you will get 36. 36. Question 4, part A. A parallelogram of ABCD has sides 8 centimeters and 6 centimeters. Lines AB and BC have been drawn for you. So by constructing triangle ACD, complete the parallelogram. Use a ruler and compasses only and leave in your construction arcs. Now, a parallelogram has 2 pairs of parallel sides. So I'm supposed to put something here, and this one has to be equal to this. So that means this one has to be 8 centimeters. And then this one here must be equal to this, so it has to be 6 centimeters. So what am I going to do? I'll put my compass here, then I stretch it to 8 centimeters. I draw an arc. Then I also come this side. I put my compass and I stretch it to 6 centimeters, and then I draw an arc here. So where they meet, then I connect, and that is all. Okay, so I'm going to get my compass here. My compass is here. So mine can measure the distances here. So we need 8 centimeters. So, but we can use a ruler, that is 8. So I'll put it on A here. On A here. Just there. Then I rotate this compass here. Then I can draw an arc like that. Then without, okay, now I'm supposed to change to 6 centimeters. So I go to 6, that is 6.0. Then I get this compass and then I put it here on C. Then I draw another arc there. Then where the 2 meet, that is where I draw connecting lines. So I draw a line connecting this to where the 2 arcs have met, from A then to there. So we are going to have this one as 8 centimeters and this one 6 centimeters. Part B is coming from transformations. They're saying describe fully the single transformation that maps shape A onto shape B. I advise that you always look at the number of marks allocated. If it is 2, then you think about translation, because you're going to tell us that it is translation. Then by vector, you give us the vector. Those are the 2 marks. Then the other one is reflection. So if it is reflection, you tell us that it is reflection in which line. You give the equation of the line. That is the other mark. Then if it is 3 marks, then it has to be enlargement. So after telling us that it is enlargement, then tell us the scale factor of enlargement, and then after, the center of enlargement. Then the other one is rotation. So rotation, after telling us that it is rotation, then tell us the angle of rotation, angle, and direction. Okay, is it 90 degrees clockwise or anti-clockwise? And then later the center of rotation. Okay, so now these are 2 marks. That means it is either translation or reflection. Now when you look at these 2, they resemble, they are congruent, just like that. The way A faces is the way B faces, so that therefore implies that this is translation. But then I look at a point here. So translation is a shift of one point to another. Now, when you look at this grid here, the X and Y, you realize that the values of Y above X-axis are positive. Then when you go down, they are negative. So that means when we move up, it is positive. And when we move down, it is negative. Then on X, when you move to the right, it is positive. Okay, and then when you move to the left, this is where we find the negative values. So this is negative. So when we are writing the translation vector, the vector here, we have the x movement and then the y movement. We have moved 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That is negative 6 because we are going to the left. Then 1, 2. We moved up, so that is positive 2. So that simply implies we are going to have translation by vector negative 6, 2. So we write translation by vector negative 6, 2. So the first, the mark is here, and then the other one is here. Those are the two. Next, on the grid, draw the image of shape A after a rotation of 90 degrees anticlockwise, center 5, 1. Center 5, 1. So 5, 1 is here. Now, you can use the tracing paper where you're going to put your tracing paper to cover this one here. And then doing so, then you sketch this one in here. Okay. And then you put your, maybe you prick here. You use the compass, okay, or a pencil, and then you rotate. It is 90 degrees anti-clockwise, clockwise, anti-clockwise. Then you rotate it this other side. Okay. You rotate it this other side. So this part which is here now comes to this side here. So this one which was now like this has to now face like this. Then this one which was vertical now will go horizontal. Then this one which was horizontal now will go vertical, like that. So, and you can also use the protractor. Okay. So this is 5, 1. Okay. Now, when I rotate it anti-clockwise, I will get, let me just show you using the protractor here. So you can put the protractor here at the center, which is 5, 1 there. Just like that. The line of the protractor must coincide with this other line here. I'll do like this. Put it like that. So I want to rotate this part here to 90 degrees. So 90 is here, but now this one is 1, 2, 3, 4. Then I'll move 1, 2, 3, 4 down here. So I'll have my point here. Now let me rub off these other ones here. Okay, like that. Take off this one also. Then I can also rotate this one here to that one there, this other point here. So the 90 is here. So along this line here. Now we are supposed to move. This is a diagonal through 1, 2, 3, 4 up to here. So same distance, it will be here. Okay. This one will be here. And then we can also rotate this one here. This one here. Okay. Then look at the 90 where it is. Our 90 is here. Then it is a diagonal in 6 squares, so it will be here. Shall put it here. Okay. So let me first put off now the line here and record the point there. Then the next one is which other one? The next one is this one is a diagonal in 2. So when I draw 90 is along here. So the diagonal in 2 is going to give us diagonal in 2. So it will be here. Here, here, here. So let me first put off the line that I've drawn here. And we shall have diagonal in 2. So diagonal in 2 is here. Okay. And of course, this one here, this one here, the last one there, it's just 1 square. So you go one square this side, so it will be here. Now I can remove my protractor, and that will be my shape there. So by connecting all of these points, you get your ruler, then you will have this one here, you will have this one here, this connected to this one here, then this one here, this one to that, this one isn't all that straight, and then also this one here. So that is going to be my shape there. Question 5 part A is from statistics. They are saying that the scatter diagram shows the distance traveled and the cost for each of 12 taxi journeys. Roman 1, the scatter diagram shows positive correlation. Is this statement false or true? It is actually correct because you can see that these points are increasing. Okay? They are increasing going this. So the increase in the distance leads to the increase in the cost here. Okay? So my answer is going to be true. Okay? My answer is going to be true. So right here, true. Then the reason is going to be as the length, as the distance, or the length of the journey, as the distance increases, okay, as the distance increases, then the cost also increases. The cost also increases. As simple as that. Roman 2, on one journey, the cost per kilometer traveled was much more expensive than on all of the other journeys. Draw a ring around this point on the scatter diagram. So you look for an anomaly. We call it an anomaly. All of these other values, they are correlating. They are just near one another here, moving in that. But this one is so far away. This one here is so far away. So that means I'm going to circle this one here. Okay. The distance was small, but the cost was too high. So that is the one. And then they're saying draw a line of best fit on the scatter diagram. To draw the line of best fit on the scatter diagram, you are supposed to balance. Okay. Balance the points. Balance the points on the line. Okay, balance the points not on the line, above and below the line. Balance the points above and below the line. So when I look at these points here, okay, so to balance them, so you get your ruler and you draw all through. You balance the points. If I draw like this through these ones here, at least it must pass through at least 2 points, not just like 1 point. These are 3 and there are very many down here. I mean up, so that is not. Now if I pass it through that, and also another point, let's say this one down here, I have how many points below? I have 1, 2, 3, 4. Up here I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Though this one is also an anomaly here, we shall not take that into account. So there. Then how about if we also change and withdraw? So suppose I connect this point here and also this one here like that. And I try to connect these two here. What do I get? This one here passing through that point there, and then that one there. How about if we do that? Let's say, let's see, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then here we have 1, 2, 3. Okay, and then this one is 4. So probably it is going to be that. That one can be marked. Another one can be this other one here. Okay. If let's say you put this one here and I rotate it, I make it maybe pass through this one here. Then I rotate this one like this. See, then elongate it a little bit. Make it pass through that. Even that one is okay. Okay. So like that. It's all about balancing the points above and below the line. Roman 4, another journey is 8 kilometers long. Use your line of best fit to find an estimate for the cost of this journey. So we have 8 kilometers. Come to the line of best fit that you have drawn here. Let me use green here. 8 kilometers. So I come to 8, then I draw a line meeting this one here, and then somewhere there. So remember, your pencil has to be sharp. Okay. So I'm extrapolating. You have to make this one dotted such that it is different from the line of best fit. Okay. Even this one, you make it dotted. Now, one small box here is equivalent to 1 small box is equivalent to 5. Now divide by 10, which is 0.5. So now this will be 16, then 17, maybe 0.5. This is 17.5. So that is what I will write. Now they are going to give you a range. For such questions, they give you a range of values because not all of you are going to draw the same line of best fit. So they are even saying use your line of best fit. So the answer you give must be correlating with the one that you have gotten from the graph here. If you just write without showing this kind of extrapolations, you might be marked wrong. So you have to show these lines. So mine here is 17.5. So I'll come here and I write 17.5. Okay. But the answer in the scheme is actually 16 to 19. So mine falls within there. So I'll be marked correct. Arit, Luke, and Mary share the cost of a taxi journey. The cost is 26.40. Roman 1, calculate how much Arit pays if they share the cost equally. So if they share the cost equally, they are 3. So you just get this, you divide by 3. As simple as that. That is 26.40 divided by 3. We get 4/5. Okay, no. 26.4 divided by 3. That is 8.8. So I write this answer as 8.8 there. Roman 2, they decide to share the cost in proportion to the distance they each travel in the taxi. Arit travels 12 kilometers. Luke travels 3 kilometers and Mary travels 7.5 kilometers. And then they are saying write the ratio, this one in the simplest form. So the first, what I'm going to do here, I can divide by 3 because all of them are divisible by 3. So here I get 4. Also here by 3. Then here I can get 1. And then also here divide by 3. This gives 2.5. Then after that, because this one is a decimal, so to make it a whole number, I can multiply all through by 2. Okay, multiply this by 2, multiply this by 2. So I'll get a 5 here, then a 2 here, and then an 8 here. So that means the ratio is going to be 8 to 2 to 5. Then part B, calculate. This is part B of Roman 2. Calculate how much more Arit pays than if they share the cost equally. So let's look at what Arit here gets. Arit, it is going to be 8 out of the total, 8 plus 2, then plus 5, which is 15, then times 26.40. So put this in the calculator, we shall have 8 out of 15, then times 26.40. This one gives us 14.08, so 14.08. And then the difference here is going to be, you get the bigger one minus the smaller one. So this is going to be 14.08, then subtract. The other one is 8.8. Okay, so get your answer, then subtract 8.8, and that is 5.28. So this is 5.28. Then next part C, Gene invests some money from his taxi company. He invests $18,600 at a rate of 1.7% per year compound interest. Calculate the value of the investment at the end of 6 years. Give your answer correct to the nearest dollar. That means it has to be a whole number. So we know that amount is equal to P into 1 plus R. Okay, 1 plus R out of 100, then to the power of T. So P is 18, that is the principal, 18600, then 1 plus, this is 1.7 out of 100, then to the power of 6. So this will be 18600. This one will give us 1.017, then to the power of 6. So I put this one in the calculator here. I'll have 18600 into 1.017, then to the power of 6. That one will give us 20579.6821. Then to the nearest dollar, I'm going now to round off the 6 to the 9. So 20579.6821. So round this off to that. You put plus 1. Of course, this will be a 10. Then take 1 here, 8. Then 502. So your answer has to be 20580. And for such numbers, this is the only correct answer. Anything apart from this, if you write the answer to 2 decimal places, to 3 significant figures, you are going to get it wrong, because they have told you that give your answer correct to the nearest dollar. So this has been it for this first part of the paper. Thank you so much for watching. May God bless you. If you find the content very helpful to you, kindly like, share, and even subscribe. See you in the next videos.